All right.
Hello, everyone.
Yay.
Welcome to Three Things Live. You've got Kris and Kyle here today, and we are so excited to be with everyone here.
Monday.
Boom, 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 boom. Here we go. We haven't been able to do that forever. I love it. All right, everyone. Welcome to Three Things Live on this beautiful Monday afternoon.
What?
Well,
It's cold.
It's a little rainy.
So we have sweaters.
Nonetheless, let's go. Hey friends, welcome to Three Things Live on this Monday afternoon, and it is actually our last week before our summer break of Three Things Live, so I hope you'll tune in each and every day because we have some really great things planned for you. But don't you worry, we're not going to be far away this summer. I mean, we have still so much planned. It's crazy. You know us, we are not going to leave you all out there just thinking, what should I do with all my time? No, we've got lots and lots of sewing projects, all kinds of things planned. So be looking forward to that. I know we are as well. All right, friends. Well, we are talking today about the one thing that sometimes can keep you up at night, right? We're talking tension. And not tension in the house, but we're talking tension with that sewing machine. Tension, just skipped stitches, machine repair. Maybe you're looking for a machine and wondering, how do I go about this to find the perfect machine for you? Well, we have the ultimate authority in all those things and more. He's definitely the ultimate authority in my household. We got Mike here with us.
Oh,
hey, Mike.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, you're right.
Yay,
Yeah,
Mike.
ultimate authority. Who really is it? Like kids, are you watching?
Yeah.
Who is it?
We know who it is.
We know who it is. All right, Mike, welcome.
Well, thank you.
We know you are so excited to be here with Kyle and I
Way
today.
excited, especially to be with Kyle.
Yeah, that's
I know,
right.
he just loves me so much.
She's his favorite.
Right.
Let's hear that, everybody.
Yep, that's right. All right, Mike. Well, we got to say, this is one of those, things that comes up a lot. In fact, just over the weekend, I saw someone ask about questions about machine repair, and I thought, I'm so glad that we have some great answers for you, and we're going to dive into your questions that you have at home. Some of you have been writing in, asking the questions, so we'll share some of those, and we'll talk about some of the most commonly asked questions that need help troubleshooting. I know there's nothing more frustrating than being in the middle of that project and something goes awry with the machine, right, Mike?
Saturday night.
Usually about 1 o'clock in the morning when you come wake me up.
Yeah, and that's when you say it's just time to go to bed,
Yeah,
Kris,
it's time to
right?
go to bed.
It's just time to go to bed.
We'll take that into a true technician tomorrow.
Yeah, that's right. Well, you've been a technician, and I would say a true technician for 15 years now. And you've learned a lot over the years, haven't you?
I have.
Yeah. And we're very grateful, not only for you, but we also have 3 other amazing technicians here at our shop.
Yeah.
And they take care of problems from not only our local customers, but from all over the country, right?
They do.
Yeah.
I'd probably say they're probably better than I am right now. I try to get out of it so that I don't have to wake up at 1 o'clock in the morning and take care of my wife's machine.
That's right.
So
before we get started into all of that, we thought it might be kind of fun to just laugh a little bit, right?
Oh dear.
And so here's an ode to the technicians out there in our lives, because they're kind of a big deal, and they really, truly are our superheroes. So let's take a quick look at some of the things I was able to put together in honor of them. So how about a sewing machine tech's love language is try a new needle. Why are we talking about that, Mike? I mean, she's just googly eyes saying, how do you know that's what I needed, right?
Well, I always say every quilt deserves its own needle.
That's what I've heard.
You know what? That's a good way of putting it, I think.
Yes.
For sure. Why is that? Why is it important to be changing those needles and giving new needles?
Well, most of it's because of the way the needle goes through the fabric, go through multiple layers, it just dulls it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's not making a smooth transition where you could have skip stitches or other things like that.
Well, and I would say it's not an expensive fix, right?
No.
Kyle?
No. When I was driving school bus, they would say, if you're not sure, add more oil, because 1 can of oil is a lot less than a new engine.
Yeah.
So I
Oh.
always think about that.
You know what? That's
That's a
so
good way to
true. So just adding a new needle can make a big difference. And so that's the love language of a technician. It's just try a new needle.
Yeah.
And you'll have everyone googly goggly over that idea, right?
Can I say, the one thing I don't want them to say to me is user error.
That could
Right,
never
Mike?
be the case, could it?
No?
We
No.
never say that.
No.
At least openly.
Is there a better way of saying it, Mike? How would you, if it was a user error, what would you tell Kyle?
He'd tell me user error.
Yeah, you can't use Kyle as my example. No, usually it just comes down to sometimes you just have to step away from things. You know, just step
Good
away,
idea.
try,
Put
try
it in
something
time
else.
out.
Yeah. Turn it off, turn it back
Put
on.
the machine in timeout or
Put
you in timeout?
Both. 'Cause we get in a
There you
fight.
go.
We
Go
get in
get
a
a
fight.
drink of coffee,
Yeah, there you
come
go.
back.
There you
All
go.
done, right?
Right.
All right, let's take a look at another ode to our technicians out there. We've got, I mean, honestly, they really are the superheroes,
No
right?
kidding.
That not all heroes wear capes. And she says here, I don't just fix machines, I restore hope. I save projects.
absolutely.
I prevent meltdowns. And I am the last stitch or defense. Oh my goodness. Don't we really feel that way about our technicians too,
Yes.
Kyle?
Yes. If I have to go in and talk to them, they're like, not a big deal.
Oh, I love that.
Think about it.
Not a
Think
big
about,
deal.
have you done this? Have you done this? Have you done this? And then you're like, oh yeah, I should have done that.
Yeah.
I think that's the hardest part. Sometimes we have to start from square one. So we ask him, like, okay,
Yeah.
did you needle? Yes. I put in 5 new needles. I'm like, have you done new bobbin? Yes, I've tried every bobbin that I have, right?
So are you saying when you ask the questions, it's not because you're trying to be accusatory of you're not doing this right.
No.
It's more of you're trying to troubleshoot and go through kind of a system, right?
Yeah, because I think every time you sit down with a machine, you make sure you want to start with all the basics and go back. And sometimes you have to go way back to the basic. New needle, new bobbin. Have you changed the thread? When's the last time did you clean out your bobbin area?
How about have you tried to rethread?
Rethreading.
That's
yeah.
the question
Yeah.
you ask me oftentimes is have
Yeah.
you rethreaded? And sometimes it's as simple as rethreading, right?
Correct.
Why is that? Why is it the rethreading process? What happens somewhere between here and there?
I don't know. There's so many up and down parts that you have to think about. The take-up spring.
Yeah.
The tension down the bottom, the cutter that you have. There's just a lot of little moving parts that sometimes it just by pulling one time. I always think of it as when you've taken a ribbon and you take a pair of scissors and you just boom.
Oh.
You just pull, and what happens to it is it overstretches
curls.
it and then curls, and that's all that can happen when you
Oh.
break
I
a
didn't think
thread.
about that.
It can be overstretched, and then it's just curled back up underneath.
Oh.
So to pull it out and then to rethread it.
Which we're going to talk about during theme number 2. We're going to take a closer look at the guts of a machine, and you can kind of point out to us where that might be happening, right?
we can do
Okay.
that.
And then one last homage to our technicians out there. Let's take a look. This one cracked me up because she's saying, I think my timing is off. And the technician said, nope, just your life. Just your life. And, it just says on here, yes, we have seen worse. No, you don't want to see pictures.
Yeah. We don't want to see pictures.
What's the worst thing you've seen in a machine, Mike?
Well, when I first took it off, I seriously thought that there was a mouse living inside the
You really,
machine.
truly did.
Yeah, because The only thing that did not have lint was the hook race, because that's a spun. So when you took all that out, it seriously looked like it was a big rat's nest that it was just living in there.
That would scare the bejeebies out of me, I think.
There's a few of those. So
First time I brought my long arm in for him to clean, he told me he found a rat in it. I was like,
Yeah.
oh no, really?
that's
No.
because it
But
was Kyle.
you would have believed it though because tell them why. It's out in your
in my embroidery
she shed.
machine, in my she
in the
shed,
she shed.
I
which
had
is
a
out
spider
in, the
in
farm.
my embroidery machine, and it scared Wayne so bad. I thought he was joking with me because you did the rat thing, and I'm like, oh, get out of here, you big baby. He showed me a picture. It was real.
Yeah, for sure.
There's some crazy things.
Yeah,
But
Linda.
how would I know?
How would you know? That's right. Linda shares in the comments that she rethreaded when she had an issue last night. And I bet that's what took care of it, right? Yeah, I love that. Let's see what Dee shares. She's saying that I think sometimes when things aren't working as expected, the tendency is to make adjustments and change settings all at once. Better to be methodical when addressing the issue. Oh my goodness, Dee, I don't think we could have said it better. That's so true. And that's why you ask each of those questions kind of one by one, is to go through that methodical logic and of questioning, right?
Yeah, I mean, because as a technician, I'd say 80% of all of the issues that I've taken care of have been needle and thread. Tension is usually not a tension issue that the tension's changed on your machine unless you've physically changed it. But most of it, I would say, it's going to be rethreading and reneedle, or it comes down to cleaning.
Okay.
Because if your machine's not clean, then the tension can be adjusted just because it's not working the way it was when it was set up. So
I know in the industry, we kind of have this idea that you should have it cleaned once a year. Is that something you agree with, or should it be more often?
I'd say how much you use it is how
Yeah.
often I think you need to have it
I think
cleaned.
that's very true.
What about if you haven't used it for a whole year?
The same.
Yep.
Just like if you,
Because it's just sat there.
yeah, and you need oil, and the oil can just dry up by not using it. It can sit there and may not be in the same spot it needs to be in. So if you haven't had it cleaned for a while, have it serviced.
It's a good idea.
I love that our friend Janet is in the comments, and she shares, thank you, Mike, again for fixing long distance. My Houdini new serger started sewing by itself. You made it right immediately.
Yeah.
So we remember that, don't we?
I do remember that.
Yeah.
On the way to the airport.
It was kind of weird. It was all of a sudden her serger was just going off and couldn't figure it out, but you took care of it right away.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the things to also remember for those who don't live near us is the fact that our guarantee here at Girlfriends is that we will just make it right. I mean, we don't have a lot of fine print when it comes to taking care of you and your machines. You know, for those who make that purchase, especially far away like Janet did, all she had to do was make that phone call. Mike was trying to help her walk through it, and they tried a few things. And then ultimately it came down to, you know what, we're going to switch the machine out for you. And she got a brand new machine, and she's loving her machine now, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
We just make it right.
Yeah. But there's things the machines will do that they won't happen in front of the mechanic.
Oh,
right,
no,
Kyle?
no.
Never.
No.
Just like the computer, right?
Oh, my goodness.
All right. Well, we have some really good questions that our viewers have been sending in. And so we thought it would be perfect to go take a look at the machine
This will
itself.
be interesting.
Yeah, this is going to be really interesting. So stick around for theme number 2 because you just never know. Maybe one of your questions, whether you wrote in or maybe you're going to hear it while we're talking about it during theme 2 and go, oh my goodness, I have that same question. And Mike is here to help answer it. So I can't wait for that. Stick around with us, friends. You will not regret it. We'll be back in just a moment.
Come on.
have never failed me.
Oh, good. Well, I hope
You
I
do
don't
good
fail
work.
you on this one. We are continuing our celebration of our country's 250th birthday on Three Things
We
Live.
really do truly honor and love you.
We introduced the new Star Spangled Right Side Up Banister Quilt, beautiful home decor, including table runners, a pillow, and something new for the golfers in your life. I love it. Oh my goodness.
We show you how to make custom luggage tags so you can pack your bags and go see this amazing country that we live in.
Listen, we are getting close to the end of the Three Things season, so now is the time to catch up on everything here on Three Things Live. Or better yet, watch us live on Facebook and YouTube every Monday through Wednesday at 1 p.m. Mountain or 3 p.m. Eastern.
What are you waiting for? Click the links below to discover all the fun you've been missing.
Remember that Three Things Live is where we always have something to make you smile
Something to learn.
and something to discover. Let's go!
And don't ever let fear stop you from learning a new skill.
What if one small quilt block could help create one amazing quilt? As we celebrate America's 250th this year, we're inviting you to be a part of something bigger than all of us. Stitch Your Story America. We've invited creators from all over the country to create a 6.5-inch unfinished quilt block in all reds or whites, however you want. It could be pieced, applique, embroidered, painted, doesn't matter. Add your name, where you're from, and what freedom, home, or hope means to you. We'll bring it together into one incredible community quilt, stitched from stories across America. Your block matters, your story matters. Find out all the details at mygirlfriendsquiltshop.com. All right, welcome back everyone to Three Things Live. I'm Kris.
I'm Kyle.
And
I'm Mike.
hey, you did
Hi,
it!
I did.
yay.
Did you practice that?
I did not.
You just kind of just came right into tune, right?
I did.
Yeah.
He likes the camera.
That's right.
Someone
totally
said it's so
prepared.
nice to see your husband, Kris. Yes, I know. Some of you, especially for those of you who might be new, may not have met Mike before, but he is definitely.
He's a big part.
Behind the scenes
he's
man.
a huge part, a huge part. We couldn't do this without him in many, many ways. So I thought it would be interesting for theme number 2 to have us look at the guts of the machine.
Is this a sewing or sewing and embroidery?
This is sewing only.
Okay.
Holy
And so
God.
I asked Mike if he would take off the cover of this machine because
Just for those of you who are offended by nudity, don't look at the next screen.
yeah,
in a second.
that's right. Let's take a closer look. Do we have another camera over here to take a closer look
Here
at?
he
We've
comes.
got Steve coming over. These are not
Wow.
simple machines, are they? Look at that,
How
you
did
guys.
you learn this, Mike?
That's a
Just
good question.
followed my tail, I think is what I did. That's what they sit you down and say, okay, take the covers off. And that's the easy part. It's
That was
putting
the
it
first
back,
thing they did with you when
Yeah.
you did training, wasn't
Putting
it?
it back together is the other question.
Do you suggest I take stuff off like that?
No.
No, don't touch it,
But
Kyle.
I think Kris was the best one. She explained it a long time ago to some customers of ours that you or your husband can take any cover you want off. Take every screw out you want. It's just that if Mike has to put it back on, he's charging you double.
At least.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, when we look at this machine, it looks a little intimidating, right?
little.
But I remember you once told me that actually the computerized machines are even easier to fix than what wasn't computerized, right?
Most of the time, because then
Yeah.
you've got a way to be able to digitally see different tensions, be able to see different settings, where before it was just all mechanical. You'd have to have a mechanical gauge to be able to do all that. Most of it can be done.
Okay, so Mike,
way.
when let's talk for a minute about some of the parts that we are a little more familiar with.
Okay.
What is this thing called that we see at the bottom of the bobbin?
That's the hook race.
Okay,
And as you look at it, there's a little hook, and as it spins, you can see it. So they call it the hook race. It spins around and around.
what's one of the problems that we see when it comes to the hook race?
One of them is getting lint built up in here,
Okay,
and then that can actually adjust the tension because you've got your top thread. For a lot of people, the top thread always comes down and goes underneath the bobbin case holder, officially called the inner rotary hook, and then it comes back up, and that's how it ties a knot. So the top thread can run into the lint, changing the tension of it to increase it or decrease it depending on.
so is
How much
this
out?
something that we can clean, or do we have to have a technician clean that part?
No, you could clean it. When I took this off, this is just
Do we spray it?
into place.
No.
With air,
Yeah.
you can spray it with air. The issue you have with air, if you push it out, there's
Yeah.
holes that you can see right here. There's holes inside, and so then the lint will go in. Then it gets around all of your feed dogs.
So we
and by
really
the way.
don't want that.
You don't.
No.
You don't.
But a technician who's trained in that can do air, right?
Because we don't
Correct.
have all this off.
Right.
Correct. But I'd also take off some more screws to where this whole thing comes out, and then I blow it where it's not
Okay.
going into the
But how
machine.
would we clean this at home?
The
It's
best
just
thing to
like a
do
little-
is when you think about cleaning out your husband's ears,
Ugh,
go get some
okay.
Nasty.
Q-tips, you know.
Yeah, it
My
really
mom
is. It is amazing what I see happening when, when I take that off and I go, oh my goodness, I have been sewing a lot, right?
Yeah.
There's a lint buildup. You know, another area that I think a lot of times we don't think about is right here where the feed dogs are. You can actually get lint built up there as well.
Oh, yeah.
And so what's one of the problems that happens when we get lint buildup right in this area?
Usually what happens there is that your fabric's not feeding on the bottom as well as it is on the top. And so you just don't get that movement correctly because it ends up being, usually if you look at this being on top of there, is this sits on top. Well, the feed dogs have to come up, but if there's lint buildup in between them, then it hits this bar. And so then the feed dogs don't come up as high and as correctly as they should.
Yeah, so that can cause lots of issues. So that's another area where we can take that little Q-tip or
the little brush
thing,
thing.
the brush cleaners that we have on our website, and you can actually just push that out, right?
Correct. Usually what I'll do is I'll take a Q-tip, clean it out, then I'll cut the Q-tip at an angle so it has a point, and then I just poke that point in to all 4 of these slots to clean those
Okay,
out.
and just push
Do you
that
put
right
oil
out.
in there?
No.
Okay, that's a really good question. Now,
We don't have to grease it or anything.
Some brands will, but they really don't put them in the hook area because that'll get oil on the thing. But some, for example, some manufacturers have a spot that's a hole over the side that you put the oil here.
So for those who have like Brother Baby Lock, for example, we're recommended that you should never put oil.
No.
Right? Let the
Don't need
the technician take care of that,
Correct,
right?
correct.
Okay. So here's
And usually in the manufacturer's manual will tell you if your machine has to be oiled, where to put a drop
so
of
make
oil.
sure and check that for
Yeah.
sure.
And it's truly a drop of oil.
Yeah, a tiny drop.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not as
have
much
a
oil
whole
as you want on your
One is good.
focaccia bread. You know,
5
that
is
olive
better.
oil.
Yeah.
That's right.
I learned the hard
Exactly.
way.
Exactly. So, Mike, when you were talking about how that thread could spring up into the take-up lever, just point out to us what are we looking at here
Okay.
when that
it's,
happens?
It's kind of hard to see. Maybe I can make a sound of it. But you can hear there's a little spring right here.
Oh, yeah.
Is there a way for someone without having, go ahead and try that again. Is there a way for somebody to get that out if they're not taking off the cover, which we don't want them to do that? How would you suggest someone take that out?
Without taking the covers off, it's really hard to get into this spring. But the best thing you can do is when you're unthreading something is always unthread it following the same way you would thread it, but backwards, right? So if you thread it by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, come down here, cut the thread up on top, and then feed it backwards to keep going 1, 2, 3, 4,
You're pulling it
5,
through the
and
bottom.
you're pulling it through the bobbin. You'll usually hear, once there's thread in here and you pull it out, you'll hear that little sound that the spring is released. Because by pulling it back up, if it's caught in the spring, you could actually break the spring. It's just a little teeny
That
wire.
was one big lesson I had to
Yeah.
learn at the very beginning.
Yeah,
Do
for
not
sure. Just rip it out.
Yeah,
Right.
no.
Now, there are little vacuum attachments that
Correct.
are also very helpful, right?
Yeah.
You can pick those up and be able to get some of that cleaning done yourself as well, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Vacuum. Pretty much without taking the covers off, anywhere you think you can vacuum up. That's not a big issue. Even taking the needle plate off, you can vacuum. You just have to be careful that you do have, for example, in this one, this is the cutter. And there's a little piece of felt there. You don't want to take that felt out.
Oh, I once thought the felt was something that had to be ripped out. You're like, no, don't touch the felt. What's the felt there for?
The felt there is to hold when there's a little mechanism right here you can see that moves. This comes out, grabs the thread, and pulls the thread back across before the cutter comes, and this felt holds that thread in place.
There is a great
So
question
they call it
on
a pile instead of a
felt.
felt.
Okay, there's a great question on YouTube right now. Where do broken needles go? The same place where the Rubbermaid container lids go, that's where, and the
That's right.
socks, they go, yeah. But great question, because do we need to take it apart to find the pieces?
Not necessarily. If you take the needle plate off and look down, what I like to do is while it's off, just rotate the hand wheel forward and backwards to see if you hear any scratching. Because if there's scratching, that means the needle's either right below this,
That's
which you
usually
don't
where
want
I
to have
find
it.
mine.
But otherwise, sometimes what
is-
you can do is you grab it, shake it like this.
Oh,
If
sure.
you don't hear it move, usually it'll fall down in this compartment, and then you don't
Okay.
have to worry
If you
about
do
it.
hear the scraping, don't use
You don't
it.
hear the scraping. If you hear scraping, you really want to pick the machine up like this and try to shake it to see if you can hear it moving. Because then if you do, then you do it again. Okay, it's no longer scratching. Because if it scratches, it only really hurts if it scratches the inside of the hook race. If it scratches the bottom, it's not going to hurt as much. But
Those
But
are
if,
great
I,
questions.
but if I hear it still scraping, do I bring it in?
I'd probably bring it in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe it's
Don't
somewhere.
let your husband throw it down the stairs. Try to get that needle out.
Well, I'm going to throw it through the
Definitely
window.
don't do
Yeah,
that.
that
Yeah,
might be.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. All right, Mike, we've got some questions that people have written in. So I'm
Oh.
going to bring up the first one from Glenda Rose. Glenda asks, what is the number one thing people do that ruins their sewing machine? That's a great question, Glenda.
I'd probably say the number one thing that ruins their sewing machines is they don't get it cleaned. They don't have it serviced. I mean, drive your car for 15,000 miles and
Yeah.
see what
Yeah.
happens to it. I mean, it's the same concept. You're using a machine that takes oil, just like your car takes oil. And
It's a lot cheaper to have it serviced than it is to buy a new machine.
it is.
That's right.
Yeah.
And we spend a lot of money on these machines, so we should take care of them, right?
You do, and it also depends on how often you sew. I mean, I remember I had never seen it happen before, but I had somebody that had sewn on just a little inexpensive machine, but they sewed for 36 hours, only taking 5 hours breaks.
Wow.
Wow.
They
Well,
must
that
have been
ended up being
the
that ended up being
UFO
that the-
challenge, right?
The whole machine, you could not rotate this handle. The whole machine had locked.
Frozen?
It's
They
seized up.
had seized it because they had burnt all the oil from going
Wow.
that long.
Interesting.
wow.
to where it actually, I had to put oil on it, rotate it back and forth, oil, rotate it back and forth. And I finally went to the person, I said, I'm not going to get this fixed for you. You get to buy a new machine.
Oh,
Wow.
really? If
Wow.
it freezes up, there's nothing you can do?
There is, but it probably costs a lot more of my time than buying a new machine, right? Because then it comes down to how much time I have to spend on fixing, putting oil everywhere and then rotating it and making sure and getting out all of the, if you ever see black grit, that's usually metal against metal,
Ooh, that's not good.
and that's hard to get out. So,
But you don't take that lightly, do you?
No,
I mean,
no.
you make sure to do everything possible before.
I mean, this
having to
isn't
get
even
to
all the
that
way down
case.
as far as the technicians do. They'll take the back cover off. They'll take more screws out to where the hole,
Wow.
they'll separate the lower shaft in half and make sure that everything is.
Wow.
Okay,
done.
here's my big question. How do you remember where it all goes?
That's why you got a machine tech,
That's
right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the big thing is that I always, and if you looked over there where I took it apart, is that every screw has its spot, and you always want to make sure they go back in the same thing. So I take them off and put them in an order, and then I
Okay.
just follow that order in reverse.
I think I do that, but turns out I don't.
And sometimes I don't, or sometimes you're sitting here and then you knock it over and you're like, I get to spend the next 10 minutes figuring out. 'Cause a lot of the screws look the same.
Okay, there's another question that came in that I know, Kyle, you had the same question. So this comes from Carly Donovan.
This
Let's
makes
bring
me
this
crazy.
up. Yes.
Makes
Go
me crazy.
ahead. What does she ask?
Why is my fabric getting stuck into the needle plate?
Okay, so that can be two things. One is if the feed dogs aren't moving correctly.
Oh.
Okay. The other one could be is if your needle is dull, it'll push your fabric instead of gliding through your
that
fabric.
makes sense.
That's probably
That probably, because as
makes a
your
lot of
needle
sense.
gets dull, you can hear it.
Yes.
You can hear a sound.
I
that
thought
makes
that was a good sound.
popping sound instead of just gliding through. Now, usually that's because it's pushing the fabric, and so when as the fabric gets pushed down, now the feed dogs are pulling it, but it's down a little bit, so then the feed dogs are going to pull it down.
Oh, well, I'm going to go home and do some things.
Yeah. And I think one of the things that a lot of people do also, if they tried these other things and it's still not working, sometimes you just have to begin with in fabric, right?
Correct.
And
Correct.
so they have what's called leaders and
Yes.
enders, or
Yes.
what Sandra calls Harry Larry's, right? It's just a little piece of fabric that you start off and then it moves right into your real piece of fabric,
And
right?
the other thing to do is to holding the threads and hit your needle down button or rotate the needle down. And then start with the needle down. So then
But that
the
just
first
takes so
movement,
much more
the first
time.
movement is the needle coming up. It does take some effort, especially if you're doing. I remember that if you're ever going to sew on with the top thread of being I want to say, fishing wire. I can't think of the right term right now. Monofilament thread.
yeah,
yeah.
monofilament
So if
thread.
you use monofilament thread, sometimes monofilament thread is
Yes.
so slippery that when you
Yes.
start to go down, it actually will
Slide
come
back
out of the
out.
needle, the eye of the needle. So
That's so true.
usually with monofilament, I always recommend is hold it, hit the needle down, now start to sew, and then that way it's already tied rather than having to tie it the first time.
I remember
Actually,
you
that's a
telling me
good
to
tip,
start
yeah.
with my needle down, and that'll
Yeah,
help.
That's a really good tip.
And start out slowly.
Slowly.
Oh, hey,
'Cause I'm
Heidi has
zooming.
a good suggestion. She puts her screws on tape and labels them.
Oh,
That's good.
Heidi, that is brilliant.
hello.
I love that, for
I'm
sure.
trying not to take the screws out.
That's right. Anita said, wow, that story reminds me of to check my baby Janome manual. My baby Janome manual. I just wouldn't want my Hello Kitty to go bye-bye. She may need a drink of oil.
That's right. That's right. But if
funny.
if it doesn't say oil, it does need oil, and just not
By you.
with the covers on, right? You have to
Right.
take the covers off.
Again, there are some brands that do
They
ask
do.
you to put oil on.
Yeah.
You better check your manufacturer's instructions to make sure. But the ones that we sell, you do not oil.
Nope.
Like the technician oils,
Yeah.
but not the everyday consumer.
Yeah. I mean,
correct?
you get into the long arms that we sell.
Yeah,
They do,
That would be
and they
different, right?
specifically tell you how often and where to
and
oil.
where to oil, exactly. Okay, Lisa Lewis has a question. She asks, how do you reset your tension once it gets messed up?
Take it to the technician.
Yes.
Yeah, wow.
I mean, that's where the computer one becomes a little bit easier. Like in the baby lock and the brother realm, default tension is always a black background with white text. And once you
Oh,
change it,
okay.
the background goes to white and it's black text. That way it knows it's not a default setting. All right. When it comes to a mechanical, there's usually, I would just call it, there's little buttons or a little fill where the tension moves to where the center of those is the default tension. That doesn't mean it's actually at that tension, because the tension could have been changed somewhere else.
Okay.
When it comes to the bobbin, I didn't bring it with me, but the bobbin case, there's also a tension on the bobbin case, and I usually say 99.9% of the time you never touch the bobbin tension on a sewing machine.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
I will not.
for sure.
If you get into
for
embroidery,
sure.
they usually give you a second bobbin,
Uh-huh.
and that's the one you change the tension on.
Okay.
Bobbin or bobbin case?
Bobbin case, excuse me,
And
the
if
bobbin
you
case.
do that, how far are you adjusting? Like,
Usually you want to count that as 60 seconds on a clock, so every second, every
Every-
rotation.
okay, so you'd only do it like 1 second at a
1
time?
second at a time, yeah.
Interesting.
Oh, don't
okay.
just screw it on over.
No, yeah, not a good idea. Okay, so speaking of tension, there's a couple things that I know you're always reminding me of. If I'm wondering about I'm doing machine embroidery, for example, and I'm doing a satin stitch, and I look on the back, where should I see my bobbin thread?
Only on the back.
Only on the back and only...
Usually you want it down the center, so
Okay.
it's equal pulled on both sides of it.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, I remember
To
that.
fix that, it's really going to a technician that's going to have to fix it in the embroidery.
If it's going way off?
Yeah. well,
Okay,
once
so
you-
you're looking for that bobbin thread to be basically down the
an
center.
equal pull to the back. Right?
Okay.
So if this is the back of the fabric, you don't want it to be pulling like this side. Nope, you don't see any blue, and this side you see blue. You want it to see equal blue with whatever white bobbin thread you may have. You want that to be an equal pull to the back.
If we have thread nesting, what's the problem?
So nesting on the bottom can be one of two things. One is that your tension discs are not closed correctly, that the thread's not in your tension discs up on top. Okay.
Can we adjust that? Can we fix that? Just rethread it? Try
Just
it?
rethread it. That's
Yeah.
really what it is. But make sure when you're threading it that your foot is up. Like right now, these bobbin tensions the tension discs are closed, even though my foot is up, because I
Turned your
disconnected the
wheel.
power with the foot down. Right.
Okay.
So like this one here, that one's
Let's
up.
take a look right over here.
So now the tension discs are closed like this. And then
Okay,
if you
the
hit-
tension discs are closed because the foot
foot's
is
down.
down.
I can't get
So-
that threaded, right?
So Mike, when we thread a machine, should the presser foot be up or down?
you want it to be up when you're threading the machine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Up when we're threading the machine.
And your needle
And
also
I'm going
up.
to turn it this way a little bit. The other thing you can see on some of these is right here, there's a little cover. So when you hit the needle down, press foot down, what happens?
there it
right?
is. That's
so that's
what
to
tells
tell
me.
you
Let's
not
point
to
that
thread
out
it.
one more time, and we'll bring Steve over here to make sure everyone can see that. Okay, so say that one more time, Mike.
So when the presser foot is up,
Uh-huh.
you
Okay.
can
Presser
thread
foot's
it,
up.
right?
Right.
We're going to wait for his camera to get right down
Yeah, because you
here.
can't move the thread if it's down.
Correct. It doesn't
Don't
go.
try and make
You
it
can
move.
you can thread it, but it won't go
So
into
you
the
can
tension
see the
disc.
presser foot is up, and I'm going to close it, and that also closes right here. So
Yeah,
let's bring the camera right there.
That covers
you
that
can see
up.
that. See how it covers? There we go. All right, so we always want to thread with the presser foot up, and then when it goes through the needle with our awesome,
Needle
being
threader?
able needle threader, that's when that could be
That's
down,
when that can be
right?
closed, because usually
Okay.
at that point you've already gone through the tension disc.
Okay, cool. Wow, so much good information.
Really good.
Lots of information here. Don't you wish you had maybe a simple checklist? It would be like Mike sitting right next to you,
Yes.
trying to answer
Yes,
every
please.
question and troubleshooting. Well, the good news is we have that for you, and we're going to talk about it right after this for theme number 3.
Come again.
time is going so quickly.
Yes.
And I know we all have a million more questions, right? I do want to bring up a couple things. One thing that I just thought of, one thing that Kyle just thought of before we get into our checklist. But one of the questions that came up was from Lisa. What's happening when our bobbin is actually coming through to the top? Is that a problem with the bobbin, or is that a problem with something on top?
It could be one or the other.
Okay.
So if the bobbin thread is being pulled up, then usually I'd say I'd check your bobbin first.
Okay.
Sometimes it's just that it's been put upside down.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
Bobbin's upside down?
Yes.
Because there is the
way
direction
that
that
it
it
has
has
to
to go
Yeah,
in, right?
yeah.
And if it goes the other way, that means the tension's completely not
Okay.
there.
Okay.
The other one is that if your top thread is getting caught anywhere, that creates extra tension.
Ooh, yeah.
Then it's basically a tug of war between the bobbin and the top thread.
Yeah.
And if whoever's winning that, it's usually where the problem is. So if it's
Yeah.
coming to the top, it's usually the top thread is caught, or there's no,
I
you don't have any
always-
help in the bottom, right? You're doing
Yeah.
a tug of war with nobody pulling on the bottom. That's where
I
Wow.
always think about
That's
that tug of
great.
war thing when I'm trying to figure out, okay, now is it the top or the bottom? And I always have to think about that because he's talked about that. Okay, here's my big thing. If I have a bobbin and it fell on the floor and it unwound like 5 feet, do I wind that back on or do I just cut it? Someone said, do not try and wind it back on.
you can do whichever you'd like. As a technician, I'd prefer you just to cut it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I've heard.
It's not worth saving a little
The
bit of
other
thread.
thing, if you really want to have it wound correctly, okay, is put your bobbin in your bobbin case holder up here, hold that other piece of thread, run it like it would be, and you just hold on to that and let the machine rewind it for you, because then it's going to be winding that bobbin at the same tension.
Okay,
Okay.
that's
So if it's
okay.
a whole bunch of thread you don't want to get rid of, I would run it through the same way the instructions
okay,
show
I see
you
what
how
you're
to
saying.
wind the bobbin, and you just become the spool by holding this thread.
Okay, okay, good idea. Also, I have one more.
All right.
No,
I got
you
so many.
only get so many, and your limit is up. No,
but
go ahead.
I want you to know, I just learned this not long ago.
Yeah, tell us.
Do not reuse your pre-wound bobbins.
Correct. It's recommended not to reuse the pre-wound bobbins. The plastic that they use is not as strong as the one they have you wind in it
How do
for.
I know? Because I've saved them all. Throw them out.
Well, you can try it, and if it doesn't work
know,
good, then you put that in a different pile.
I started throwing things away.
Sometimes, I will say, sometimes I'm just too lazy to get a new bobbin, and I'll just use the old one.
Oh.
And most of the time, I have pretty
Yeah,
good luck.
yeah,
but
most
if
of
I
the time.
have issues, I know I probably
I tried to cheat
shouldn't.
again. I know
I
Yeah,
know one of the best things
exactly.
that I found is I found some standard machine bobbins that were actually tinted blue,
Yes,
yes.
yes.
right? And I did
And
that
that
for
has helped.
baby lock or for brother,
Yeah.
right? Those ones you can reuse. If they're clear, kind of a
Okay.
yellowish color or clear,
I could
Yeah.
mark my new bobbins that I'm purchasing
You
that
can
I'm
do
going to
that too.
rewind
Yeah,
myself.
that's true. That's not a bad idea
I'm
either.
like a
and if you have an
Genius.
You are a
embroidery-only
genius.
machine, usually the
Absolutely.
tension is going to be different than a standard sewing machine.
Say that again?
So if you have an embroidery-only machine, like if you have this machine but it's embroidery-only, the bobbin tension for embroidery is different than this one. It's a 60 weight standard, and embroidery only is a 90 weight.
Oh, yes,
yeah,
yes.
That's right.
And it's important
So
that you have
sometimes
the
you want to
right
mark
weight.
those by a 90 weight. You put a 90 on it, so you know you're not throwing a 90 weight into your 60 weight or a 60 into your 90.
Okay,
good.
wow. Oh my goodness, my head's about to
Because you have to have more
explode.
than one machine.
Well, yeah.
Come on.
I have 2 embroideries.
That's right. And aren't you glad you do?
I am actually.
Yeah.
At first, I'm like, what the crud? But
Why
now
do
I
I
can
need
have
to-
it wherever I need to go.
Exactly. And you can have one going at the same time as another
Exactly.
one, right?
And the long arm.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You know what? Talk about
those pro stitchers-
the ultimate
Pro
experience
stitcher's
for
just
sure.
like a real grown-up's embroidery machine.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes, I'm
for
a
the
big
big
girl.
kids.
You're a big
yeah.
girl.
All right, guys. Well, here are some of the top questions that come up, and we've broken this down for you in an easy to print and download
Oh, nice.
technique sheet for you. So let's talk for just a second. We're going to go through it quickly. Thread breaking, That's the question that might happen. Some of the suggestions would be to rethread your top thread with the presser foot up. We talked about that. To hold the thread tails when starting to sew, check the bobbin is wound evenly. Clean out the lint in the bobbin area. Slow down your start. And it's almost always a top thread issue, right?
Usually.
Oh, I am looking at the wrong thing.
Wrong one.
Oh my goodness,
breaking.
thread breaking, sorry. Let's try that
She
again,
gave a
although
little
all
bit of a
those will
sneak
be
peek
did.
of another
Okay, thread
screen.
breaking is replace your needle because if it's dull, all it means is drama. That's
right.
all it means. Okay, check for burrs or nicks on the needle, plate, or hook. Rethread your machine. Again, yes, really. Use better quality thread and slow your speed.
Oh,
Slow your speed,
slow my
Kyle.
speed.
And the
Slightly.
one thing about the better
Just
quality
slightly.
thread is that that's one of the first things I learned, and it was hours and hours of trying to get a customer's. They brought me in the sample, and the tension didn't look right, and I kept going and going, and then I decided I'm going to use my thread that I know is brand new.
Yeah.
I wound my own bobbin.
And what
No
thread,
problems.
What thread brand?
I used Aurifil.
We
I
love
just like
Aurifil.
Aurifil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good.
Can thread go bad?
It does. It has a shelf life.
Yeah.
So the longer it's sitting in the sun, the quicker it's going to break down.
Yeah, it's
I had
brittle.
some thread.
But it ended up being
fade.
that this person's mother gave her all of her thread as
How nice.
And her mother had passed away. So this
You know
was
what?
probably 15 to 20 years
That's
old.
when you put it in a beautiful
Yes,
mason
container.
jar
Yeah.
and just to
and you
admire
can still
it.
use it if you're going to hand thread.
Oh, no.
But the machines nowadays, machines can actually tell the difference between a good and a bad thread.
Hey,
They'll
let's
tell
talk
you.
tension.
Yeah.
Tension issues real
right.
quick is to, again, rethread your machine completely with the presser foot up. Check that your bobbin is inserted correctly. You talked about that, which sometimes we don't think about.
No.
Make sure the thread is properly seated in the tension discs and switch to a new needle. It's almost always threading. It's not the tension.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
That's crazy to think
Just
about.
one thing off can make a big difference.
Yeah, it really can.
I think I can say this without getting banned on Facebook,
God.
but it's
Okay.
like when you're so mad at your machine, you want to put a stick of dynamite in it and just blow it up, right?
I know what you're saying.
Which dynamite is TNT. So you always start out by rethreading your machine.
So you're checking to
Then you're
thread.
checking your thread. Then you check your needle. And then finally it's going to be tension. But
Tension's
most of the
always the
time,
last.
most of the time it's going to be needle and thread.
TNT,
Okay,
remember
TNT.
that. TNT, that's a good one to remember.
But don't put a stick of dynamite in your machine.
No,
No, don't
just
do
throw
that.
it out the window.
Don't do that. Okay, let's talk skip stitches. Insert a brand new needle. Ooh, that's a big one. Remember the love language?
How much are needles? They're not much.
They're cheap.
Pennies.
They're so cheap. Make sure the needle is inserted correctly all the way up.
All the way up.
Oh, I've had it fall
we see
out.
that problem a lot too. Use the correct needle type for your fabric, rethread the top and bobbin, and check the presser foot pressure. All right, I love that.
That makes a difference too, huh?
You can.
Yeah, and if you've got bunching underneath, let's talk about that real quick. It's to rethread the top thread with the presser foot up again. Hold thread tails when starting to sew. Check the bobbin is wound evenly. Clean out the lint in the bobbin area. Slow down your start, and this is almost always a top thread issue.
I
All
put an
right.
asterisk by that, hold the thread when you start to sew.
Yeah.
I'm going to say hold the thread to put your needle down
And then you don't have to do
and
it.
then start to sew.
Okay, Yeah, and
I
then
wouldn't
get your
recommend
fingers
putting
out of
your
the way.
fingers,
Right?
yeah.
Yeah, that makes total sense. Oh my goodness. Okay, so many things. So if you want to have a list of the things we just talked about,
I do.
then we have that as a free download. You can find it on our website as seen on 3 Things Live. Go ahead and just go grab it right now, download it. It will go right into your download library that is found on our website. And it's a fantastic reference, and feel free to share it with your friends, share it with your quilt guild if you want to. And
Copy it off and then put it right near your machine.
and then you've got something to refer to, right?
And I say that list is Mike reviewed, but Chris approved.
There, yeah.
So there we go.
There you go. Exactly, because it's got to be cute.
It has to
if
be
it's
cute.
then it's okay. No,
It's not cute. You're looking at my beta testing.
yeah, there you go.
Sheet, so.
Exactly. Yeah, Lisa said we need more time with Mike on another day. For sure.
Sounds good.
Hey, he said
He
he'll
said
come
yes.
back. Okay,
Yes.
that's a good
It's not when
sign.
it's so cold, so my voice comes
Yeah,
back.
yeah. Now, someone says they prefer glide thread on their machine. When you said aurifil, you're talking sewing.
I'm talking sewing, which is
right, which is
100% cotton.
But we do love
But
love
glide,
Hemingworth, we love glide.
I mean, Gutermann's a great thread as well.
Yeah.
I mean, there's all really good threads. There are some that are less expensive. That the reason they're less expensive is that they're not as good a quality.
What makes the quality?
Usually it's
way
the
it's wound?
manufacturer.
Yeah.
How it's being
I
manufactured.
remember
How
you
it's
showed
being
us a
spun.
video on how thread was made.
Yeah.
and
Crazy.
It was really good.
Yeah, I met with the I would just say it, the factory owner of aurifil thread. He came to Utah and put on a seminar and showed how they do their thread. It was just amazing.
It's
Interesting.
incredible.
The quality,
It's incredible.
the quality was just amazing.
It costs more, and it's worth every penny.
It is.
There's a reason
It is.
why.
Yeah, there is a reason. Mike, if someone is interested in purchasing a machine, what's one of the best tips you can give to them?
I guess if you're looking for sewing, get what makes your sewing experience the easiest and the best for you. Sometimes going for just the $100 or $200 machine, the experience is bad not because of the fabric or the project you're doing.
Yeah.
It's really the machine doesn't give you that experience. But
That's right.
Go for a machine
You're
that's
going to
going
get what you buy.
It is. It
Yeah.
is. It is.
Yeah.
When it comes to embroidery, the biggest hoop you can afford is what I would go for.
Yes,
Because
absolutely.
there are some machines out there that are less than $1,000 that you can get a 4x4 hoop, but all the designs are going to be bigger than 4x4.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
you'll
so
become
much.
frustrated that you
Yeah,
can't
you get your hands tied is what you're doing. Is you're tying yourself up.
Because once you start, you
is.
just want bigger.
You do. It is.
I think one of the things that so many people out there love about you, Mike, is you are very honest. You're a straight shooter. You definitely care about the customer, and I hope that is reflected in how he presents himself. Because I know so many times, so many of you have actually purchased a machine from us, and a lot of it had to do with Mike being able to talk you through what are the questions you have, and he really listens and he finds out what it is you want to do, right?
Yeah.
Not trying to oversell 'em.
somebody came in that they felt that they had the highest end, the Triumph embroidery machine, and they want a Triumph Serger, and they just didn't think they were getting out. They wanted to downgrade. But when they started to downgrade, I talked to them. I just said, "What are you wanting to get out of this?" And it ended up being that they didn't downgrade.
No.
Yeah.
They kept it. They
They
had
still
it.
want it.
They just needed to have that confidence, right?
Yeah.
And that's
Learn their
really what it
machine.
came in. Is that
And we do teach them about their machines.
Yeah, we do.
We do. So I think the most important thing is when you do purchase a machine from Girlfriends, we do want you to buy it with confidence. And if that means you want to talk to Mike more about your questions, and he will answer any and all questions, we're happy to answer
Yes.
those questions as well.
Yes, we have trained people downstairs.
We do, and I think the most important thing for people to remember is that your success is our success, and our success is your success, and we want
true.
all of each other to continue being able to do all the things we love and enjoy doing it. But sometimes it's all about having the right tools, right?
That's
But
right. I mean, the
doing
last thing
it
you
with
want to
confidence.
have is a sewing machine that just becomes a big paperweight.
Exactly.
Like I even say,
Exactly.
like a long arm. The last thing you want is a long arm to be another coat closet.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
And I've walked into some places that's what they're using
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
because they don't have the confidence or they haven't taken the time to get it serviced, right?
Right, right.
And that's really what it comes down to.
So we're going to put your number up here, Mike. If you have questions that you would like Mike to help you with as far as making that purchase on a machine, just send him a text. He's always happy to help, and he's confident that he can help find the right machine for you. For you. I love, Kathy, thank you so much. She said, I bought a used machine from you, and Mike was the one who helped me, and he went above and beyond to make sure that if I had, and I can't see the rest of her comment. Let's see.
I do like
Had
Cindy.
any
Thank you, Cindy
problems?
Martinez. She said, Mike is my husband. How did she say it? Mike is my husband approved.
Oh, there you
spending
go.
money with.
There you go.
spending money
Exactly.
with.
So if you have to ask your husband, just ask me. I'll tell you to go for it.
That's right. Well,
Right.
we trust you, Mike,
Yeah.
and that's
Absolutely.
why. And again, our guarantee is we'll always make it right. And I appreciate Kathy Brand for sharing that testimony with us as well. That means a lot, Kathy. So thank you.
Yep.
All right, friends. Well, this has been so good. I can't
Really
believe
good.
how quickly the time went by. We
I could have
definitely
more.
need to have him come back for
Just
sure.
Kyle's the
For
only one that I
sure.
have blocked, so she can't text me.
That's right.
Yeah, but I know where you live.
That's right. We want to remind you before we leave today that the 20th, that's just 2 days away, is the last show
Oh.
this season. But don't you worry, we'll be back in September. And be sure to stay tuned for surprise shows this summer because we have lots. You know, we can't just go away.
No.
No way. No way.
Chris doesn't need any more
Oh
sleep.
my goodness. No, we have too many fun things planned, but we do take a little bit of a break so that we can give everyone a chance to recharge, be with their families, enjoy a summer vacation, but also get ready and geared up
Ooh,
for
yeah.
what's coming next because we got a lot headed your way, folks. And then be sure to not miss this coming Wednesday, which is our
yeah.
last show for our book club. It is going to be Remarkably Bright Creatures is the book we're talking
So
about.
good.
So amazing. Okay, Mike, how many times have I watched the movie now?
You've watched it 3 times, and I've had to watch it twice with you.
That's right. Exactly. I know. I'm just saying. Plus read the book,
And I would
plus
probably
listen
watch
to the
it a
Audible.
third time with you.
I loved it that much. So definitely come and join us on Wednesday when we talk about it. And we have a really fun project inspired by the book
nice.
as well. I cannot wait. So, and then last but not least, Stitch Your Story America. Come on, folks. We are
been
down
seeing
to
some of
2
those.
weeks left. If you've been sitting on the fence thinking, oh, I really would like to participate in this community flag quilt, and you haven't had a chance to do so, may this be your invitation, your reminder, your plea, our plea, if you will, to send in a block 6.5 inches, either mostly red or mostly white. And we are hoping that we can receive these by May 31st so that we have time to stitch it all together. It's going to be amazing. Your blocks are coming in. I can't
Yeah.
say thank you enough. They're beautiful, they're gorgeous, and we
even
love
if
what
it's
you're sharing.
just with your name on it.
Exactly. If you do not have time to
Yeah.
do it, send in a 6.5 inch piece of your favorite fabric in red or in white, and we will add it. Make sure and add your name and where you're from, and tell us a little bit about what freedom, home, or family means to you.
Oh, wow.
So
'Cause
very
if you don't, I
excited
know
about
Chris
it.
is going to be up all night sewing them.
That's right, and I can't do that. So we want to hear from all of you. So be sure to send those blocks in. Let's see, Claudia said hers is ready, just needs to get it to UPS. That
Okay,
is
good job.
awesome.
Nice.
All right, friends, thank you so much for hanging out with us today. Thank you, Mike, for being such a good sport.
You're welcome.
And
Even
hanging out with
though I had
Kyle
to come
and I.
on with Kyle.
I know, his
That's right.
favorite.
Now I think you owe Kyle and I a treat for having to put up with you.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
just kidding. Just
probably
kidding.
is.
No.
I
It's
think
more
I've got
of
some rock candy.
It's more of you had to put up with us, right,
Oh,
Kyle?
yeah,
I know, I know.
Don't
I
give
think
him
Kyle
that.
has to put the machine back together.
All right, everyone. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Keep doing all the things you love, and we hope to see you again real soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.